What's good, mofos? We're back with another episode of World 1-1 Podcast. Before we get into all the fun shit, we're going to serve you up an appetizer of shameless self-promotion and tell you that you can and should find us at our home at Podbean. That's world11.podbean.com, all spelled out, all one word. If you want to catch the audio version of the show and not go to our home base, you can also pick it up in your other assorted podcatching applications such as Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify, and we might be somewhere else that I don't remember that I put us. It's very possible. I'm thinking maybe Podchaser or Podknife, but don't hold me to it. But it might exist.
There's a site called Podknife?
Yes. There is. It's a real thing. To that end, though, if you need like direct visual stimulation because you can't masturbate to us by audio alone, we do have a YouTube channel. So if you go on YouTube and you search for World 1-1 Podcast on YouTube, you'll find us there, and then your erection will quickly go away. Of course, if you need that real-time live cam action, the place to be with us, though, is definitely on our Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv World 1-1 Podcast, all spelled out, all one word, where we do fun stuff like play video games and talk to you if you come hang out with us. But now that we have finished the first course, we shall throw the remnants into the dumpster because fuck feeding the hungry. They weren't that hungry anyways. And let's get to the meat and taters, because I am, as always, your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder. Joining me this week, this evening, today, tomorrow, whenever the fuck you're listening to this, are my partners in crime, Josh the LeGrew.
Hello.
Michael, unhappy to be here. And Dylan dying of death.
Hello.
Clearly, we're off to a roaring start. So, now that we have all convened, we can gather around, hold hands, and chant satanic rituals and rites into the night. We'll start with our favorite, oh my god, video games. Dylan, I know what the fuck you're playing, but tell everybody what the fuck you're playing, Mr. USA.
Well, I haven't started playing MechWarrior 5 yet. I actually just installed it, but I'm going to start playing that tonight right after this podcast. What I have been playing is Doom Eternal, F1 Motorsport.
Really?
Yeah. Call of Duty. And I just started Shadow of the Tomb Raider as well. Darksiders is on my list as well, because I've got nothing but time right now. So fuck it, I'm just buying video games and adding to the collection. But the main thing I have been playing is Doom Eternal. And I'm gonna say, unpopular opinion, not as good as 2016.
Okay.
I'm gonna download that tonight too, I think, and I'm gonna try that because I'm a Doom guy anyway. But
yeah, I mean, still amazing, like, right. way good. My biggest issue from 2016 to 2020, or Doom Eternal, is like by the end of Doom 2016, you feel like an unstoppable force.
Like a god.
You're just unstoppable. It's amazing. It's just blood, guts, gore, and like a power dream, like wet dream. It's amazing. By the end of Doom Eternal, you're like, oh, thank God! Like this is the final boss. Oh, okay, like it's you spend so much time, and I get why they did it. Like they're very, they increased movement a lot, which not necessarily just speed, but like verticality and like the Halo 5 like boost from side to side. And
I didn't like that in Halo, by the way.
Yeah, it's all good. And in combat, it feels great. The problem is like they've diminished your ammo reserves exponentially. Like they're really bad. basically you have to chainsaw enemies all the time as much as you can. You're running around. You spend more time running away than running towards the fight. And then
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, and then after the fights, there's almost always like this overly complicated puzzle that just slows down your momentum from fight scene to fight scene. And it takes way too fucking long. Like there's way too much downtime in that game. It feels like it's just filler for the sake of being filler. And I'm not about that. Like I could do because they're showing off the mobility, and that's great and everything. But like it's great for maybe 1 or 2 levels, and then by the time you do like your third swing to rock climb to swing to grapple hook to get a 1-up, you're just like, this is fucking, like, I'm so over this. I just want to murder demons. Can I just murder demons? That's what I want with my Doom. I want a hardcore heavy metal soundtrack while I'm fucking ripping demons' faces apart. That's it. That's all I want. Give that to me.
Now, see, what you just described prior to telling me what you want makes it sound like something I want, because that feels vaguely Metroid-y, because I'm kind of Metroid Prime-ish, because I'm kind of like some 3D platforming. I want to like grapple from here to here, find some hidden shit, poke around a little bit. I'm like, I think I could get behind that a little bit.
You might like it. The combat is still insanely frustrating, though, compared to 2016. I'm not saying 2016 was easy by any means,
Right.
but by the end of it, it was considerably easier. Whereas in this, by the end of it, like I still felt like I was not equal to the demons and shit. And like, there's one particular demon called the Marauder that's just bullshit. It's just a bullshit fucking thing, and I hate it, and it needs to not exist. It's stupid. Like he blocks everything automatically. The only time you can attack him is when he's attacking you, which is extremely difficult when you've got like 45 things on screen trying to murder you at the same time. So you're like running away from him, blasting turrets off of like brains with legs, and then trying to murder that thing and clear everything out just so you can deal with them. It's bullshit, and I don't appreciate it. Okay? Don't appreciate it. Other than that, game's still amazing. Combat still feels good. It's definitely, I would say, a buy. You know, if you have patience, I'd wait for a sale. But other than that,
Hello?
get it. It's good.
Podcast.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
What else? I mean, really, yeah, that's the big one that I have played recently. Yeah, I've dabbled in Temtem here and there.
Yeah, how's that going?
I mean, it's all right. It's not a Pokemon killer. I know everybody wants it to be a Pokemon killer, but it's not. It never will be. Until they put fucking Charizard into another game, it's not going to beat Pokemon. Plain and simple. Pokemon's got brand recognition. Okay, like
I have to ask, because when Kathy listens to this later, she's just gonna roll her eyes and go, "Fuck you! I hate you! You're not funny." But on the subject of Temtem, would you score it a 10 out of 10?
I would score it like
Fuck.
I'd probably score it like a 7 out of 10. You know, it's good. You know, it's definitely fine. Like in fact, they do a lot of things that like I wish Pokemon would do. But at the end of the day, Pokemon's got all my favorite Pokemon. So
Pokemon is Pokemon. Yeah.
right, like I'm gonna keep buying Pokemon until like Pokemon does something so atrociously bad that could possibly remotely burn all my childhood nostalgia, which is a large bank that they have. probably they could do whatever the fuck they want and I'd buy it. Like they'd be like, well, Charizard's gay now. We have like Pokemon has sexual orientation now and Charizard is specifically just gay. And I'd be like, cool, can I buy a bow for him? Like what kind of things can I do to get my Charizard laid? Because I'm in.
I think in another 80 years or so, Pokemon's going to be public domain and that shit will happen.
Hey, dude, I'm
Slash. Charizard slash. You know.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure it already exists.
Oh, it has to.
That's me.
See, that's what's really going on underneath all the statistics when you can't get two of your Pokemon together to breed. There's just not the attraction because one of them isn't straight.
Yeah. Dude. Unless it's a Ditto. Ditto goes always, man.
Yeah. Ditto is the ultimate polypansexual.
Yeah, Ditto does not give a fuck. It's there for a good time. All right.
Ditto's just like, I can be whatever you want me to be.
Mm-hmm.
God,
So wrong.
that has all kinds of weird attached to it. The better question is, what kind of shit do you think Mr. Mime is into?
Oh yeah, dude.
Ditto.
I don't want to go down that.
Ditto. Yeah.
Yeah, only Ditto in its normal form. That's all he's interested in. It's
That
like
or
a big
Ditto
blob
turns
movie.
into like a 7-year-old boy.
I
pretty
would be
Mr.
surprised.
Mime would be into that. I feel like that's a
He
thing. And
definitely has a white van down by the river.
he
That's-
really does. I am reasonably convinced that is a big part of why Mr. Mime has not appeared in another Pokemon game ever since the original.
Oh no, he's still in all of them, man. You can still
Like,
catch Pokemon, Mr. Mime.
Really?
Yeah.
I swear I thought they fit. No, who am I thinking of? It was which one's the fucking blackface one?
Jinx, and she
That's
is still in all the games. They just changed her face. It's purple now.
Yeah. So it's not racist anymore.
It's not racist anymore. Yeah,
See,
she still has giant lips though. Like, you know,
Uh-huh.
Like we know.
yeah, we all know what you're doing, Nintendo.
Somewhere there's a fan fiction where Jinx and Mr. Popo from Dragon Ball Z hook up.
I believe it.
It has to happen. Oh, fucking hell. Michael, what the fuck have you been playing? I take it, I know some of what you've been playing, and do not spoil shit for me.
Ugh. I've finished Ori 2. And
And I'm only stipulating that because, and you know full well that if I did not have the piles of bullshit going
I
on,
know
I'd have had it done.
it is driving me crazy that you haven't finished it because I want to talk at somebody about it.
I
It
know,
was-
and I want to.
Oh,
I should have it done by the end of the week myself. So
I hate
I'm
you
gonna.
all.
I
This
haven't
is not a
played-
spoiler by any means, but my biggest complaint about it, because the game is basically like fundamentally perfect. They took everything that was amazing about the first one and just added to it and then shoved some fucking Hollow Knight in there. And
Yeah.
it was just, it's pure magic. My only complaint is there's nothing to unlock when you finish it. So
you're done.
there's
You're
no
done.
new game, there's no new game plus, there's nothing. It's
Not
just
yet. Yeah.
you know, ending. And then you could play it again if you want, and that's it. And so like I've been kind of like floundering because I'm not really sure what to do because I'm not quite ready to go through it again yet because you know, like the first game, by the time you get to the end, you never have to stop. You know,
Yeah.
you're just constantly jumping, you're moving all the time. This new one is that, but just more. And like I can't imagine starting over and starting with a standard just single jump and losing
Sure.
all the traversal shit. Like it eats at me. So I've been back to like I've been playing Rad a little bit more. I think tomorrow the like Tekken has some new characters coming out, Tekken 7. Which
I can't believe how unenthused you sound about that.
Yeah,
That-
I know.
That breaks my heart on your behalf.
This season had like no special characters. They introduced 2 brand new characters to the story. I mean, to the game itself. But I just don't care. Like,
Right.
And I was talking to somebody about it today, and I realized like I haven't played Tekken against somebody since the 5th one.
Wow.
Yeah, like, and it's just, as I said, like this new one just didn't bring enough. It didn't bring anything new to the table. Like, it brought everything it brought just seemed to water it down. Like the super moves and stuff like that, wholly unnecessary. Like, you know, it made it feel too much like Street Fighter.
Okay.
But
It is sad. Oh,
yeah.
You know what? I do want you to spoil one thing for me, Michael. Do I get more slots for shards, or am I stuck at 3?
Oh, you get more.
Thank
you get a lot.
fuck
You get
Christ.
quite a few more, but you got to find them. It's a very specific thing.
Okay. I'm okay with that as long as I can get more and I don't have to. I'm not locked into just 3 shards active at a time.
I'm not going to spoil it, but that like most of the boss fights are very intense.
Mm-hmm.
That final boss fight, like that fucked me up. It was crazy difficult, like, but really cool. Like my thumbs were cramping by the time I fucking finished it.
Dude, that was doom for me, dude. By the time that game was over, my hands were like cramped like this. I was just like,
You don't have to play it all in one day, Dylan. You know.
Yeah, well, I did. So
shut your whore mouth, Shannon.
Actually, I don't think I've come across a game that's had me that tense, but I can tell you I remember the last like marathon session of a game that I did where it hurt my hands to peel them off the controller because it had just been gripped so long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been better than 10 years now? Because I remember it was playing Corruption on my Wii. And I probably played and sat there and played for a solid like 8 hours straight. Didn't move from my fucking chair. Just glued with the Wiimote and the nunchuck. And when I went to put it down, my hands were like, ah!
Yeah, that was me at the end of Doom. I was like, my God. And that game doesn't have a New Game Plus mode either.
Apparently that's the new thing. No New Game Plus. That's so 2000 whatever.
DLC.
No completion bonuses whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
There is DLC coming.
No, as I said though, the new Ori was worth every fucking penny, worth every second. It was pure magic. Like I fucking loved that game.
Do you have to play the first one to know what the fuck's going on?
Not really.
No, should you? Yes.
Yeah, very much. My biggest, I think, one of my other complaints is they altered the way certain moves are done, like changed the buttons completely.
Yeah, that's fucked me up.
Yeah, that like the bash move. I kept trying to use the Y button, and
it's not there.
What is it on the bumper now or something?
Yeah, it's on one of the bumpers.
Okay.
And like as I said, certain other moves that you got in the first one in a different form now are like attacks, because like your sword and all your other weapons, you can assign them to whichever button you want.
Right.
And the launch is actually also considered a weapon, so that takes up one of your weapon slots.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was fucking weird to me.
Yeah.
The bash especially has fucked up my platforming on several occasions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there going, I fucking hit that. Oh, it's not a button.
Wrong button.
Wrong side of the controller altogether.
Yeah.
That happens to me when I switch from Switch to Xbox, because the B and the A buttons are flip-flop.
Constantly.
God. Drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And LeGrew, what have you been playing?
Well, not a whole hell of a lot, because up until today I was working every day, and then I woke up sick this morning, so I'm now in what we would call quarantine. So I'm going to have time starting tomorrow, but I did just kind of dabble a little bit more in kunai. I'm gonna put that game down just for a little bit. I need a break from it. I'm stuck in the crypto mines type thing. I think I just am missing something really obvious, so I just frustrating me, so I stop. Um, I started playing, or I started picking back up Hellblade again, so I'm just
Ooh.
getting into Helheim now. I'm not very far into that, but I'm hoping to finish that up tomorrow or the next day.
You're somewhere between like a third to halfway in if you've hit Helheim.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm figuring, I can probably finish it up in a day or so.
Mhm.
Just depending on how I feel. So, and then, Jedi Fallen Order. I am almost done with that. I could feel it ending. uh, I have had a hell of a time with this game, and part of it is I think switching between Hellblade and this game was bad because on the block is the left bumper on Jedi Fallen Order, and on Hellblade it's the right bumper, and so I am blocking not in blocking in Jedi Fallen Order when I should be blocking, and the same thing's happening in Hellblade, so it's driving me nuts. So I need to like finish one of these games so I can just like purge that from my mind and then get into it. But I really do like Jedi Fallen Order's story. And I took Dylan's advice with it and just stopped trying to like 100% planets and stuff, and I'm on the last planet now. So I just like,
Nice.
You know what? And I'm not going to go back, I don't think, for a while. I'm going to take a break.
I haven't since I beat it.
No DLC's coming and stuff, and I might revisit at that point.
Yep.
But one thing I found out is because it's been so long, like maybe 3-4 days before I played it again, it takes me a good hour to get back into it. And then with the load times are so terrible that when you die, it takes like 2 minutes, sometimes 2.5 minutes to reload on the Xbox One X.
Oh, I was like, what?
I'm not playing on PC,
I'm
playing on Xbox One X. And it's like 2 minutes sometimes. So I'm like, okay.
Like, dude, what are you using a hard drive from the 70s? Like, I know your rig's old, but bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but I mean, honestly, if we ever get these new consoles, that's the one thing I'm looking forward to.
It's
an SSD, we could just launch right into it,
Yeah.
Other than that, that's kind of what I've been dabbling in. I haven't really picked up anything new yet. Even though I did download Ori. And I haven't started it yet, though. So.
Okay. What have I been playing?
What the fuck you been playing?
I can't say I finished Kunai, but I can say I made it to the last boss, and the last boss has been fucking infuriating.
Is it fair?
It probably would be if I went back and I found more secrets.
Oh,
I can imagine the just huge amounts of shit that I've left unfound. Like if you look under the hats tab and you see like the 5 billion, hats that are available, I've got maybe like 6.
That's like kind of what I'm at too. I've got like 9 of them or whatever, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I found like the mostly obvious ones, and I don't want to think hard enough to find the rest, honestly.
Do the hats do anything? I don't think they do they?
Nope, they're not they don't do a fucking thing except change the cosmetic.
Yeah, so there's no incentive for me, there's no incentive to find them. If I find them when I'm just messing around, I find them, but
right, that's kind of where I've been at. See, I was all super excited at first because the first hat that I found was after I beat the first boss. I'm like, cool. And I saw all the hats. I'm like, it's a lot of bosses. Fuck yeah.
Right.
And then you find out that that's not the case.
Right.
So a little sad by that, but I mean, I don't know. That said, though, I mean, I've had a ton of fun. Oh, yeah. Before the last boss, there's a thing that happens, and it's fucking bullshit. I wish I had gotten that far when we had Brahm on so I could call bullshit on it to him. The game, and you won't know what's going to happen until it's too fucking late, and then you get locked into it, and it's a fucking gauntlet.
Was it like an escape sequence or something?
Nope. It is
boss
like
rush.
Not quite, but close enough, basically. Just, horde mode, wave after wave of fucking enemies.
Oh,
and
nice.
It locks you into it. You can't back out and then go wander around to try and find more upgrades to make it a little more manageable. Whatever you have when you stumble into it unwittingly, that's it. You're fucking stuck. Good luck. Figure it out.
Interesting. Okay.
I downloaded it, I think, and played a little bit of it. And you are making me not want to go back to it.
That's my biggest complaint, was that scene was bullshit. I powered through it, and it's got checkpoints. So, you run a one screen setup, and you make it through that particular wave, and then it'll checkpoint you, so you can't, if you die, you just go back to the beginning of that wave, so it doesn't kick you all the way back at least. But the fact that I can't bounce out of it and go, fuck this, I'm not ready to take this on now that I know what I just stepped in, pissed me off. So, but yeah, that's my biggest gripe. Once you get through it, you can go back and wander off and, go back and explore and find all the extras you want, and then go after the final boss if it makes you feel better, which I'm probably going to have to do because the final boss is kicking my fucking ever-loving ass. But past Kunai, I downloaded a couple of other things here just recently, and I got to start screwing around with them a little bit last night. Night before, one of those. I think last night. So I downloaded Earth Knight finally because it's been on my wish list for a while. I really like the idea. I started playing it, and I'm really hoping there's something there that I just don't see, because I'm not loving it as much as it looked like I was going to love it. Like, I really want to switch it to pixel mode. I think that would help make me happy. But something in there just isn't clicking for me, and I don't know what it is. It's kind of an auto run. It's definitely an auto runner, but I don't know. I thought I was going to love it. Everything about that trailer made me go, I want it! And then I'm there, and I'm screwing around with it, and it's just not hitting me right. I will definitely go back to it and spend some more time with it and see if I can figure out the missing piece. But it's got to be there. I don't know. The other one that I downloaded, I was actually 50-50 on right from the jump, was 3000th Duel.
Oh, you downloaded that?
I did.
And some guy I work with is playing that. He loves it.
I'm struggling. I think Dead Cells has ruined me.
Ruined you for that type of 2.5D game or whatever.
Now, I will say, Michael, I suspect 3000th Duel will be more up your alley.
What is that?
So, one of the things I realized I immediately did not like about 3000th Duel was I started picking some stuff up, and it stops me, and it's like, you pick this thing up. Go to the menu and select this thing to equip this thing. Now, see, that to me reeks of like the layers of item and equipment management that Castlevania has, that kind of usually steers me away from Castlevania, with a few rare exceptions, which is part of why you and I talked about this months ago, that Bloodborne just made me look at it and go, or not, Bloodstained.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I can see that. Yeah.
And so, whereas Dead Cells, that kind of thing is just, all right, I'm passing an item, split-second decision, do I want it, do I not want it? Fuck it, move.
Right.
And it doesn't stop the action. It's go. Not to mention, it just physically feels way more sluggish.
That'd be gross.
That said, it doesn't feel out of place speed-wise for the style and the animation that it has either, though. And maybe with some time and some grinding, it may get its hooks into me. I don't know. But I'll give it a fair shot. I downloaded it. It's in the queue. When I get time, I'll spend more time with it. But right now, I've got too many other things that I need to wrap up and put a pin in.
You'll have to let me check it out sometime.
Oh, definitely. So, I'll even let you try it with my awesome shiny new yellow Joy-Con that looks super fucking sick in my Switch grip. That makes me happy.
Oh. I did finally pick up the 20XX, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is straight up Mega Man X roguelike.
Ooh.
The animation is very Newgrounds. If you remember the Newgrounds website, the animation is very that, but it's, as I said, it plays straight up like Mega Man X, like wall jumping and everything. You have the choice between a Mega Man style character with the gun or a sword character. They can both pick up different weapons. You can choose, like every time you end a stage, it gives you the option of three different bad guys to check out to go to their stage.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, literally just go as far as you can on one life. It's interesting, but it's not like great by any means.
Okay.
As I said, the animation is really throwing me off.
Yeah. I think that's a big piece of what's throwing me off too, though, with 3000th Duel is the animation, just the art style. But it doesn't feel like super sharp and crisp. It feels very blandish. Like it almost has a look of like low budget CG 3D animation in a 2.5D set.
Kind of what I got about that game when I was watching some.
Yeah.
I was watching some gameplay of that, and it's like I could get another game that does this better. Like if I wanted, that's kind of like it seemed like it was trying to copy a lot of, or not copy maybe so much, but just take pieces of other games and put them together.
Right.
And I don't know if I really want that or not.
And it might do it competently, and if I spend some more time with it, I may find that it actually does that competently, which I'm okay with. And I paid money for it, and honestly, I saw enough that I think it deserves a fair shot, and I haven't played enough of it to say that I've given it a fair shot. Now, one that I have started playing at least a couple hours of that I'm really enjoying, even though it fucking vexes me. I've been playing, I started playing Return of the Obra Dinn last night, too. And I am fucking digging this game. I'm beating my head on a wall trying to figure it out, but I love it.
Yeah. So what's the concept of the game?
Okay, so prepare yourself to solve 63 fucking murder mysteries.
Okay.
So the basic premise is
this has nothing to do with the game, does it?
Oh, it does. It absolutely does. This is the fucking game. So it is one big fucking boat full of murder mystery. First and foremost, the art style is ungodly striking.
Are we talking about Disco Elysium?
No. Like
what
it is. Like. It is bizarrely stark and almost Game Boy-ish, but not quite. But yeah, so this boat that disappeared shows back up after years and years of being gone and missing. The entire crew, passenger, everybody that was aboard this boat, dead or missing. Take your pick.
Just gone.
Either way.
Yeah.
Dead.
Okay.
So you board this boat with nothing but a book and a pocket watch. The book starts filling itself out the more shit that you figure out by way of using the pocket watch. The pocket watch has a magic power. When you find a body somewhere, because not all the bodies are present, which it gets into kind of like Inception levels of following threads with the pocket watch.
Okay.
So, body on the boat, stand in front, pull out the pocket watch, open the pocket watch. Suddenly, you're getting, I don't know, 10 to 30 seconds of maybe 45 seconds of audio leading up to the moment of that person's death. be it they were murdered or died by an accident or whatever, what have you. You get the last moments of their life up to the moment of their death in audio, no video, and then you can see and literally just walk around in a freeze frame of the moment that person died. And it is literally all about using just tiny little morsels of information and observation to figure out the person's identity and how they died, and if they were murdered or killed, who killed them.
That's awesome. What game is this?
Return of the Obra Dinn.
Nice.
It's legit fucking cool as shit. The only game I can begin to compare it to, and it's not even an accurate comparison, but it's the closest one I've got. No, there's two. I would say reference Sexy Brutal and also Her Story. It has elements of both of those in regards, but it is not either. So, but no, it's really cool. And the thing is there are some bodies that are no longer on board the boat. And so what happens is when you're inside of one of those freeze frames, sometimes you'll see another corpse laying in that freeze frame that you can then pocket watch and go a level deeper to find out what happened there and keep stringing along and backpedaling, which also then lets you try and figure out some of the sequence of events too.
Cool.
But as you get more information, it auto fills this book that you've got, and the book kind of gives you a reference point back to a lot of things, and then you've got to go in as you figure out, you know,
what happened,
right?
Yeah.
Start filling those blanks in, and the book does this really cool thing that makes me feel incredibly fucking stupid. Now, granted, I was kind of half paying attention when I was playing last night, but I also don't claim to be the brightest when it comes to puzzle games, even though I fucking love them. So the book will blur the faces of people that you don't have enough information to identify yet. So it will tell you if it's given you enough information to be able to identify. So once a face unblurs, you know that the game has somehow told you that you should have sufficient information somewhere. But when you can't fucking figure it out, it's like the game is just going, I fucking told you the answer, idiot.
Yeah, you just weren't paying attention. Yeah.
Or you're not smart enough to figure it out yet. Fuck you. But now that being said, I mean, the more you play through, it's one of the things that I think is really neat too is there's so many loose threads to pull on right from the get that the trick is finding the right loose thread to start you on a path where you have solid information.
Okay.
Like you want to try and find one thread to pull where it will very quickly give you a name that calls somebody out and identifies the person that died versus just hearing somebody's name but not knowing if it's the person that died or if it was them shouting somebody else's name or whatever the case may be. So, context of conversation, because again, since you can't see video of that scene happening, you're only getting audio, you have to listen to what's being said, and even then, depending on, you don't have 100% certainty of exactly who is and isn't talking in that scene. So, a lot of very well thought out writing.
Yeah.
But solid recommendation, really, really fucking cool. But cool. That's what I've been playing. Also, yeah. So I haven't played it yet, but I will play it. I downloaded Runner 3, which I almost didn't because I haven't played Runner 2 because the Runner games were the first Runner game was not really my favorite of the Bit Trip series, but it was good. But I never got around to playing Runner 2 because it never came to I don't know.
platform you wanted or whatever.
Yeah, kinda. And like I said, on top of that, it felt like it was it deviated hard from the rest of the Bit Trip series, because the Bit Trip series front to back, games 1 through 6, were a really cool, cohesive story.
Yeah.
And the Runner games went, fuck that, we just want to make more Runner games. But Runner 3 was $2 on Switch, so I was like, grab it. So, and I did order my copy of Real Mist Masterpiece Edition, and they still had the folding linking book pin in stock, so I got that too.
Okay, cool.
I was happy to have that. I wouldn't have minded getting the Falling Guy pin, but I wasn't as excited about it as I was the linking book. So, sorry. I already like pins enough as it is, but when you up your pin game, when you up your lapel pin game and make it do stuff like open when it's a book, or spin like the Divine Retribution disc for the Okami pin, that shit gets like an A+. So, just saying. Extra effort, boys and girls. It's noticed. But that's what I've been playing. I'm really hoping some things settle down somewhere and I get to finally play some more Ori and finish that, and then work my way backwards, and then finish fucking Hellblade, and then subsequently finish The Messenger, and then work on other shit, because I am literally just amassing a pile of games that I want to stream, but I'm like, must finish other things. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at on it. But with that said, unless anybody else has anything interesting to interject into this section, we could probably hit the pause button.
The puppy game is fun.
Which one?
The game my wife's playing right now. What is that? Came out the same day as Doom. Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
That game's pretty fun, dude. I've been playing it.
Molly's been playing it, and she said the whole curvature thing gives her motion sickness.
Curvature? Oh, that.
Yeah. Yeah, she said it makes her motion sick.
Huh. I do not have that problem.
I told her, I'm like, you're the first person that I've heard say that, but I don't think she's wrong. She can't possibly be the only person that has that issue.
No.
Probably not. It's just a perception thing.
Yeah. But it never occurred to me.
She'll probably get used to it.
She's hoping so. She's enjoying it. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's I feel like here's a good place to say break. Welcome back to the third half of the show. This week we're going to head on over to the news desk. And this week we're taking a look at some of the stuff that we've skipped over the last couple weeks as we've had guests on for some special deep dive topics. But it's been a weird couple of weeks because it's been a lot of news about there not being news, because everything has kind of come to a grinding halt, as I'm sure everyone is well fucking aware, and as we have a couple folks with us that are literally living it at the moment. But the probably the biggest shit-headed debacle and mishandling of anything to come out of this has been GameStop, which anybody that even remotely pays any attention is already aware. But I mean, I have thoughts, I have questions, and we're fucking talking about it. I've literally steered us away from this topic for weeks on end now because everyone else has talked it to death, but it's a slow news week, and in its own weird way. But it's fucking weird.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was laughing about I'm watching that 3000th duel, and the way an enemy ran towards him is fucking funny. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like this. Anyway, GameStop is a shit company. Continue.
Yeah. Well, it's more shit than we all even could have imagined.
Yeah.
But so this whole thing started when the current global pandemic outbreak made its way stateside and became more and more severe, and GameStop happily classified itself as essential retail
Right.
in order to stay open and keep its employees working.
And why did they do that? Because they said they had things for people to work at home.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Like, I'm sorry, you don't have anything that I can't get at Best Buy, and let me tell you, Best Buy's got more of it. Fucking
Well,
close.
they also only sell the used versions too, don't they? They don't sell new versions of a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Most of
Well-
the hardware stuff like that would be new,
Yeah.
say, but yeah, no, it's a shit show, and I don't know how much of what I sent in chat you watched, but let me tell you just how deep this fucking rabbit hole goes.
Yeah.
So, our sequence of events here goes from outbreak to GameStop says we're essential retail. Keep coming to work.
We own you. We have purchased you legally.
Oh no, it gets better or worse depending on your viewpoint here. But so GameStop makes releases a PR statement to the public that says, hey, we're taking, necessary steps and measures and precaution to keep you safe, to keep our employees safe, da-da-da-da-da. We've, sent out all the cleaning supplies and sanitation stuff to the stores and all that. None of that shit went out because they didn't fucking have it.
Yeah, they told their store manager to go buy it. And then they
none
like
of them can
expense it,
fucking
don't they?
find it either.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
shit's already gone. Like, you can't get a hold of it at the corporate level. You think I can find it at the fucking store? Fuck you. So, from there, again, still pushing on the keeping stores open, not changing a fucking thing. Their big steps that they took, figuring this will appease the masses, is that we're going to let Doom Eternal out a day early, and we're going to cancel the midnight events because that'll break up the crowds. No. You're going to get fucking crowds no matter what, even if you break it up. You're just hoping to hold out long enough to keep your stores open that you don't miss that fucking traffic and those sales to digital.
Right.
Which is the safety and well-being of your people or anybody else be damned. You got to get that buck, which, frankly, GameStop got to get that buck because GameStop ain't doing so fucking hot anyways.
No.
And so, but I'm sorry, at some point there is an ethics issue here that is just beyond fucking disgusting. But the real nail in the coffin was I'm going to give a rare shout out to a YouTuber by name here because he's probably done the most work on calling GameStop's bullshit on the rug time and time again to his own detriment. Like, I'm pretty sure at this point he's probably on a first name basis with GameStop's legal department.
I think so.
They've come after him several times.
Yeah, he's still in litigation, actually.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a mess. But Camelot 331, if you want the lowdown on whatever shitty thing of the day GameStop is doing, check out his channel. But in any case, whether or not he himself was actually on the call or it was recorded and then passed off to him, that's up for debate. You can decide. But GameStop held a company-wide conference call between their corporate bigwigs, which, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe I heard that at this point, Reggie has not yet been installed in his position at GameStop.
I think you're right on that, yeah.
That has yet to go into effect because this is going to circle back to a question I had previous to getting that information or that update. But he leaked out a conference call between their bigwigs and everyone in the company as far down as all the store managers. And then they made the tragic mistake of opening up the floor to Q&A with the store managers at the ground level.
Oh boy.
Oh,
And so you got the
buddy.
Yeah, you got the corporate people that are sitting in their office or at home.
They're
Or at
sitting
home.
at home.
Yeah.
Like that was
And
made
that's how-
abundantly clear by the fact, because one of the questions that rolled out in that conference call from a manager was that, somebody had told them that they tried calling into the customer service department to help a guest with an issue, and the customer service department said they were closed, and corporate says, no, they're not closed. They're just not taking calls right now. They're only assisting by email. Like, you want to know why? Because they're all fucking sitting at home and they're not tied to their phone network at the office.
Right.
Because guess what? They're where it's safe and you're not.
Right. Easy to make those decisions when you're not putting yourself in harm's way,
Hmm. And it was just a lot of, somebody called him point blank and said, can we please stop taking trade-ins, because this shit is fucking disgusting and there's not a chance in hell this is sanitary, especially now. And they're like, well, it's always been our policy that if something's not in good, resellable condition, that we shouldn't take it. And you could just tell that somebody was biting their tongue going, fuck you, that's bullshit, and you know it.
Right.
So all this shit goes down. GameStop finally squeaks through Friday, so they've got Doom Eternal Day 1 and Day 2 under their belt, Animal Crossing Day 1 under their belt, and then finally says, yeah, we're going to close our stores to the public. We're still doing the curbside pickup thing that everybody else is doing these days, and we're suspending trade-ins and, all the things that they fucking should have done weeks ago. And in a shocking move, which, again, I can only attribute, quite frankly, probably to Camelot at this point, for having basically put GameStop's bullshit out in public view, where it's, now facing public scrutiny and backlash, are now offering, compensation to employees that either can't, come into work because they are sick, or, literally just, in fear for their fucking health and safety. So they finally pulled the trigger, but none of this would have happened if that call had not gotten into the public.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think, too, like out in California, when they shut all those stores down, I'm pretty sure they were facing, like, legal,
Right.
precedent, or whatever the word is, legal pressure from the state of California, because all these employees, like, cops kept coming into the store, were like, you guys have to not be here. You can't function. And they're like, yeah, but our boss is saying we have to, et cetera, et cetera. And, like, I'm pretty sure the state of California came at GameStop like, listen, motherfuckers, like, you're not essential. Like, you're nobody.
Right.
And so I think they closed those stores to save themselves the trouble of legal pursuit.
Oh, no, the state beat him to the punch on some of that, actually. So, one, in regards to, law enforcement coming in, GameStop issued out a memo or a flyer to all of its store managers and said, here, if the cops show up and tell you to shut down,
give them this.
hand them this that says you can call our legal department and we'll argue with you, saying that we're essential retail, and literally telling their employees, ground force, to defy or stand in defiance of law enforcement.
Right, and they're making minimum wage. Like, no, fuck yourself. Like, if I was there, I'd be like, yeah, no, like,
yeah, we're out of here.
Yeah, bye. Like, I'm
Now,
good.
In a moment of shining, in a moment of shining beauty, however, this happened before GameStop officially pulled the plug, like they should have done weeks ago. I believe it was the governor of California, I think. I'd have to double check it. There was a state governor, though, however, and I want to say it was California. I could be mistaken. That got so pissed off and fed up, he fucking pulled GameStop's business license in the state.
Oh.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow, I did not know
Pulled
that.
their fucking business license. It was an effective immediate. There were fucking signs up on the stores going, nope.
Nice.
They barred from entry onto the premises by all persons.
Yeah, that's Tom Wolf. He's the governor of
That's
Pennsylvania.
it. Oh, okay. So Pennsylvania pulled it, not. I
Yep.
apologize.
He got
But yeah.
he got angry. He was just like, nope.
And fucking good on him. That man is a hero. Get that man a fucking medal.
Yeah.
I mean, people drop their kids off at GameStop and just let them go in there. And
yeah.
how many people are just running around in there, especially when school's off? I mean, come on.
No, they treat it like a fucking free babysitting service, and it's horse shit.
Yeah.
Now, I'll grant you, and this is a little different these days, but back in the day, back when I used to work at the old video game shop, you got some of that. My shop was a little bit different because we were kind of a neighborhood store. We lived literally right on the outskirts of, like, just the very edge of the neighborhood where I grew up. So, I mean, it was all residential right behind that shopping plaza. And so, we got a lot of the neighborhood kids that would come, walk in or ride their bikes in after school, and they'd come hang out. But it was like a dedicated set of regulars, all from the same neighborhood, and they'd all come in and shoot the shit with us and, pick up their stuff when something new came out. Like, they weren't there to just fucking never buy. Like, they would come in and buy shit constantly.
Right.
And I liked having them there. They were fun. They were a cool bunch of kids. We got to know each other. We'd all eventually start fucking hanging out and whatnot. And, that it's a little bit different, but it's not like, GameStop in the middle of fucking downtown. I'm going to drop my kid here for 2 hours while I run errands and go shopping and then pick him up in just a bit. No, that wasn't the case. Like, if there was a fucking problem, I knew I could literally tell one of them, get the fuck out. You can't come back till tomorrow. And they could just walk home. You can't do that with most of these locations and situations. It's just not an option. So, but not to mention, I was on a first name basis with all their parents. I had all their parents' phone numbers. So if one of them was acting an asshole, they knew I'd actually call their parents.
Right.
So,
right.
Kept them all on the straight and narrow. So, or at least in line enough that I didn't kill anybody. But no, they're a decent bunch of kids, and I actually kind of miss those days. But yeah, no, it's a fucking mess. And like I said, there's been a couple places that have got on top of it. I'm not in there per se, but I've heard there's been some pretty impressive shitstorming happening in the GameStop subreddit. I know one employee apparently said, "Yep, going in Friday to pick up my copy of Animal Crossing and leave my keys."
Nice.
Literally posted it on Reddit and said, "This is my fucking resignation letter. Bye."
Yeah, it's going down in a blaze of glory here.
It's bad. The real shame is that, and like, I'm circling back to something that we had just touched on, but the real shame is, where the fuck was Reggie's voice in all this? Because they announced that they're bringing Reggie on board. Granted, as I understand it, he has not been installed in his position there that was lined up, but I would have really, and maybe it's just me projecting, I could be entirely wrong here. And maybe it's to do with the fact that he's not there, but I would have liked to think Reggie, a decent enough human being, that he would have publicly spoken and, said to GameStop's like, guys, you gotta fucking shut this shit down. Do the right fucking thing. You are just going to make shit worse for yourselves. Like, I would really hope that he's the one decent human being, in their corporate office somewhere that is encouraging somebody and fighting for the right fucking thing in the midst of all of this.
I wonder if he's regretting it, like signing in along with them yet.
Nah.
Yeah, I don't know. My question is there going to be enough of it left by the time he gets there that it's going to be salvageable? Because granted, it's a rough fight already, but my standing thought is, if anybody has their finger on the pulse enough with the community to actually figure it out and maybe, bring it back from the brink of death, it would be Reggie. But his silence has been staggering, honestly.
I think they're gonna have to pull out literally a fucking miracle. Like they're gonna have to completely 180 their entire business model in order
Right.
to save enough face for people to start caring again.
That's the problem. They've lost the I mean, they lost it before.
Yeah.
Now they're just playing this. They're thinking like people aren't smart enough to realize what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I don't know, man. I mean, at this point, not even that, but just like, how do you unring the bell of the PR damage that you just did by your handling of this shit show? Because I guarantee you, enough of the gaming public is aware of your conduct that how much business did you just lose for life?
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
you
exactly.
wonder why you are struggling because you do this. You guys just dug your own grave. Whether or not it's the last nail in the coffin, yeah. But
Getting
it's
up there though.
yeah. They're at least in the box at the bottom of the hole and the lid's on.
Right.
So I can't tell you how many shovelfuls of dirt are on top of the box yet, but
Well, they just keep doing dumb shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they just can't get right. Like, stuck on stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
yeah, it's criminal.
It's almost like you couldn't write it. Like if somebody came up to you with this idea for a story for like a video game or for a TV show, it's like you couldn't write. You'd be like, this is not believable.
Yeah.
No one's gonna believe this. I mean, it's like no way. You're talking about a pandemic and they refuse to close? No, it's like
No.
yeah,
You know, the sad thing is I could totally see this being the premise of a JRPG. Like, ultimately, it would boil down to you having to fight like Emerald Weapon, but
You're like you have to like go and fight like the store manager of every GameStop and then work
It's the
your way
next
up.
Persona game.
Work your
Oh,
way up.
God.
You
Work
have to
your way up.
steal
Then like
the heart of the
and when you
CEO.
get to like Reggie, he's just like, yeah, you're right, and there's no fight. Just
Uh,
work like 200 hours to get up to him or whatever.
that
And then
one
it has
is gonna,
like a
that,
full,
it's going to
got
be
a
handled
full
the way
Undertale ending.
Undertale was, yeah.
Yeah. I love that you and I had that exact same thought at the same time.
Bear in mind, I haven't played Undertale yet.
It's weird, but you should.
I have it. It's another one of those ones I just haven't gotten around to. Add it to the fucking pile.
Yep.
And it is Undertale is solidly worth multiple playthroughs. That's the
I've
thing.
heard. Oh,
It's
my
so
issue, like-
drastically different.
I keep having this issue with GameStop that, like, I hate buying a game that has, like, garbage on the package. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the big GameStop stickers. They insist on putting that clear sticker on the edge now. And, like, the last few times I bought stuff, like, I think it was you pointed out that Darksiders for
Yeah.
Xbox was like $10. And I argued with the girl behind the counter about, look, I want a clean case, and if you put that little fucking clear sticker on there, I'm gonna get pissed. And like, she's like, oh, I have to. We went back and forth for 15 minutes.
It's like, why do you have to? It's like, I'm buying it.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to, like, you can keep the fucking receipt. I'm not going to bring it back. There's a decent chance I'll never fucking play it because I've got it on every other system already.
I just want to own it
Yeah,
again.
Yeah.
It's just for my wall o Darksiders garbage, okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah,
hell.
like, it's just, as I said, like, and ultimately, like, she quote unquote compromised by cutting the sticker, like the side sticker, the plastic one, the
Mhm.
clear one. She
Yeah.
cut it to where it just covered the edge. But as I said, her and I fought about it for like 15 minutes.
But I'd just be like, you know what? Keep the fucking game. I don't want it. I
Yeah.
don't want it. I'll
This was
buy it off
done
of
back-
Amazon.
Well, that's what it's
Yeah.
gotten down to. Are you buying off eBay? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what the one thing is, like, that's a good collector tip. I've been buying some stuff off eBay, and you can get some really good prices, and they always come complete. They're always real, like, minty, good copies. I mean, like 10 times better than what you get at GameStop.
Yeah.
I can't believe GameStop tries to sell games without an actual case. Like with just a generic, like that drives me insane.
It's when they
Yeah,
throw
the
all the
problem
cases
is
away
that
that really drive you nuts.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that and the fact that it's still the same price as if it did have everything there.
Right.
That's my
Right.
biggest problem. Because I'll
Yeah.
buy a game with no case if it's like
Cheaper.
$10. Yeah.
No, I always buy new there just because I know it hurts their bottom line.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like because as I said, like their business model is set up to where any used thing they get the full profits from,
Of course.
Mhm.
whereas a new copy they're still paying the licensing fees and all that garbage. So I will always buy new.
Now,
They
here's
just
how
have
you
some
really
good
fuck
deals
with
now,
their day.
Yeah.
Here's how you really wreck their shit. If we, as the gaming community, want to really fucking just hammer down that last nail on GameStop, we go elsewhere. We buy up shit tons of games. And you know what? If you want to be really kind about it, go to your local mom and pop secondhand game store. Buy tons of used games from them.
Yeah.
Money that you would have spent on a new game anyways. Go buy used games from them. Then go trade all those used games in at GameStop and buy new games.
God.
Uh,
Give me the credit. Yeah.
And then just encourage everyone to do the same and not buy anything used. Let them pile up their inventory, not be able to move it, and keep having to pay out, and then hit their margin some more by buying new.
Oh yeah. It would drive me nuts like when I worked there. Like I'd sell like a PS4, 8 different games, some new, some used, whatever, and the guy like all my manager would say would be like, well, you could have sold him a used PS4. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, the difference between a used PS4 and a new PS4 is $20. I'm going to sell you the new PS4 because I don't know what the fuck's wrong with the used PS4.
Ain't that goddamn?
Well, like when I went in there to buy my PS4 Pro,
the difference is $20 and it's not infested with roaches.
yeah,
Right.
they pulled that. They said, "Oh, you don't want a factory, refurbished one or whatever." And I'm like, "Sure, you'll go get it." So they open it up and it's just like caked to dust. I'm like, "Nope,
Yeah.
that."
yeah,
You know?
fuck that.
Yeah, that's when I got Red Dead 2, the Red Dead 2 one, and I had
Yeah.
the copy of Red Dead 2 in there. I'm like, you know what? Screw that.
Yeah, I'm not. The difference was like $20-$40 maybe, but I actually talked the guy out of the used PS4 because he thought about it, and I was like, dude, no, listen, you can buy all the used games you want, but if you're buying a console, buy a new fucking console.
Right.
That way,
Because I
you
trade
get
these
it factory
things in.
fresh. You're not getting other people's problems.
Right.
Right.
Like I take these trade-ins all the time. All right, half of them, like the only thing we check for, we clean it, and the only thing we check for is to make sure it boots. Like if it boots, it's good. Like there's no deeper look through than that. Like does it show the PS4 thing and go to the like wavelength thing with all the apps on it? You're good.
Yeah.
There could be fucking a hard drive issue or some, and I think they changed it before I left, where like they had to test play a game on it. But even then, you're still taking spend the extra $40, get a new PS4. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, especially if you're spending that kind of money on anything, you should have the feeling of cracking that fucker open. Like
Mhm.
you should have to cut the tape.
And the confidence of having the fucking manufacturer warranty.
Yeah.
Right.
I cannot stress that enough.
And plus, you're not giving all the money to GameStop.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get mad, man. They treat their employees like shit.
They do.
I now actually feel slightly more encouraged once everything settles down to start shopping at GameStop again, just to buy new games to piss them off.
Well,
Well,
I got in an
But
argument.
then you're
with my
like really
brother.
hurting.
Yeah.
You're hurting the employee though, because the poor fucking employees getting bitched at about their numbers all day, about their pre-order numbers, like I don't know, it sucks. You have to, and like everybody that works there knows that like they don't want to ask you the 13 questions before you get to purchase your game, but they have to if they want that 2-cent raise that they're gonna get. They, it sucks. It's a lose-lose situation for the employees and the customer.
They like to recommend a disc protection plan for you.
Yeah. I always feel really bad.
I love how they try and ask me if I want the disc protection on my Switch cartridge.
Yeah. I always feel really bad when they have to fake it. Like, no, I like as I said, when I bought that Darksiders 3 for $10, the girl was literally like, "Oh, I think like I really stand by this. I always get it with my games." Like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
No,
Nobody buys
does.
that shit.
Nobody.
It's only $2.
Especially not for a $10 game.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
no.
Well, I've told them that before. I said, look, it's like $4. I'll just throw it away and go get another one.
Now,
the only time it's worth it is
in.
if you're buying a used console or you're buying like a barely used game. Yeah, because then at $2 it's like, okay, I can just switch it out.
Yeah. Now, see, I could honestly and comfortably stand behind, back when I was at Game Crazy, their disc protection warranty stuff when they rolled it out, because that wasn't something they had from the jump. That was something they rolled out somewhere along the middle of my tenure there, because that's when they started rolling out the disc buffers into the stores. Because, and bear in mind, this is the peak of GameCube, PS2, Xbox original era, and the beginnings of
3, 4, 5.
What was it, 2000? Like I think it was like 2003 to maybe 2008-ish. But yeah, so, and at that point, a year or two in, the company sprung for like very nice at the time disc buffers and resurfacers for all the stores. And it wasn't the fully automated operation either. I mean, it was a hand done operation, and but they worked extremely well. They did a very wonderful job. And the thing is, your $2 protection on that disc, all you had to do was keep the receipt. And I told people, I'm like, here, I'm going to give you the easy way to make sure you never fucking lose it. Opened up the case, I put it right behind the artwork in the case, closed it shut, said, here you go, you'll never fucking lose it. Anything happens, bring it to me with the case, because the receipt's in there, and we'll resurface that shit for you for life. Happy as a clam.
Yeah.
Which at the time, GameStop wasn't touching that kind of thing. They weren't there yet.
Right.
So, but
yeah,
I gotta say, it boggles my mind right now that nobody has taken the initiative to roll out a nationwide competitor to GameStop to put it out of its misery, because it's ripe for the picking. It could be done.
I
it
think
wouldn't
the thing
take much either.
That's the thing. It's low-hanging fruit.
Games have become so more digitally focused that the risk value to even opening a competitor to GameStop is like, from an investment standpoint, doesn't really make sense. Like,
unless you're doing like classic plastic stuff.
Right, like if you're going full retro,
go for the fucking full gamut, and then on top of that, in terms of your new stuff, be smart about it. Take a cue from Best Buy, and don't miss the opportunity that GameStop fucked up on, and get some partnerships with the likes of like LRG and Super Rare and that kind of. It's like, that's how you fucking do it. Scale back the operation a little bit. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be a small fucking operation. That's fine. Keep your overhead down and just go low key like that. You may not make it in volume, but you'll make it in fucking quantity.
And Best Buy is a unique kind of interesting story too, because they have wedged themselves kind of like in like the heel of Amazon too. They're kind of like
Yeah.
they're kind of giving it to Amazon a little bit on some fronts, like their Geek Squad and everything. And Amazon's trying to roll out something similar, and people are like, "Nah, I just go to Best Buy." You know, they like that
Right.
human interaction that they get there.
Yeah.
So, and they've got decent prices, and
Yeah,
I would say
Best Buy is pretty fair for a brick and mortar store.
I think it's
And
fair.
they'll still price
And
match.
they'll price match if you find the same exact. It has to be exact thing on Amazon. They will price match it, guaranteed.
Doesn't even
And
have
they
to be
do.
Amazon. I got them to price match the headset off of Corsair's website.
Yeah, yeah. Best
And actually,
Buy,
it wasn't even the exact same. It was a different color, and they still didn't fuss with me.
well, it's got to be the same model. Like, it doesn't necessarily
Right.
have to be the same color, but it's got to be the same model.
Yeah, that it
But
was.
yeah, they're
Right.
pretty damn fair for a brick and mortar store, and I feel like they're doing it right. That's why I still like Best Buy, despite their dumb credit card policy. I'm done with that now. It's over. So
What
now I
credit
can.
card policy?
So, unbeknownst to me, the Best Buy credit card has a membership that they
Ah,
charge you for yearly.
Yep.
And then on top of that, they will charge their interest to itself. So it's like, say you have, I don't know, what's a credit card? A 26% interest, right? And they won't charge you interest on the card for the whole year, right? Like,
Right.
no problem. And then all at once, you get that balloon payment of their interest, and it charges it against itself. And then now that charge has gained interest and a membership fee. So, boom. Yeah, it's disgusting. I hate it. I paid it off. Me and my wife didn't look at our like Best Buy credit card for like ever, because we've been paying, $200 some odd a month on it for what feels like forever. We're like, man, this thing has got to be getting close to being done. Like, how are we still paying it? And we weren't paying on it essentially. Like so it went from, we had purchased in total years ago $2,000 worth of stuff. When we looked at it last month, it was at $4,800 used because of it charging itself interest and membership fees the entire time. And that's on us. We should have been paying attention to it. But yeah, we paid that off like quick, fast, and in a hurry, and canceled that motherfucker real quick. We're like, yeah, that's done. Never again. So yeah, anybody that's listening that's thinking about getting a Best Buy credit card, pay that bitch off immediately every time you use it. Do not let it go.
Well, I feel like we've probably run this one into the ground, and it feels like it's come to a fairly definitive conclusion. All that's left now is for them to just finally, file fucking Chapter 11 and board up their stores. So,
I think we could do like what Radio Shack did. I think GameStop's going to attach itself to somebody like a leech.
I think they've tried that a few times and failed.
Yeah, so far, but I think they'll find success in some dumb ass company that's like, yeah, this actually seems like a good idea. And what they'll do is they'll do like a store within a store model.
Like Kohl's or something.
Oh, you mean like Think Geek?
Yeah, like yeah.
That works.
Which means
well.
Think Geek will be a store within a store within a store.
Well, Radio Shack actually came back from it. Like, so because they did that, like right now they're opening new stores. So like, I don't think it's Hobby Lobby. I think it's Hobby Town. There is 500 Radio Shacks that like opened last year as stores within stores in Hobby Towns, and they're actually fucking making money. They're still surviving. funny enough. And really, if GameStop was smart, which they're not, obviously, but they would open up franchises. GameStop has had a strict no franchise policy for as long as they've been around. But if they were to
I
shutter,
don't think they could sell it at this point. That brand is too damaged.
I don't know, dude. If they had so basically a GameStop name but as a small mom and pop franchisee, could work.
Maybe.
Yeah, because imagine the owner, right?
Yeah.
You build up a repertoire with the owner. Like, I mean, I worked in a franchise Radio Shack for a long time. Went through 2 fucking bankruptcies with it. We never had any issues except for like that first bankruptcy where they thought all Radio Shacks were closed. But once our customers kept coming in, they're like, "Oh, you guys aren't closed." No, everything turned out fine because you build up a repertoire with your customers, and as a franchisee, you don't have to adhere to corporate things. You just have to adhere to some, but not all. And you get to find your own product. You get to do your own shit, which I think would benefit GameStop's model exponentially. Like if they cut all the corporate out and killed it as dead weight and opened up franchises, it could save the company.
Yeah, maybe. But like I said, though, I think here's a good place to call it for this week. So without further ado, I want to thank my partners in crime, Dylan and Josh and Michael, for coming and hanging out and shooting the shit with me this week. Thank you to everybody that tuned in and listened or watched us on YouTube. Other than that, if you liked us, if you like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube, the follow on Twitch, slam us directly into your RSS feed into a head-on collision if you're doing the audio podcast thing and whatever your platform of choice is. No, your insurance will not cover that either. Yeah, I think that reasonably covers all of it. So I don't know. That's it. I'm
Have a good
done.
one.
Yeah,
Stay
stick
safe,
a fork in me. I'm
people.
done.
Be smart.
Wash your hands. Don't touch your face.
Shit.
Bathe in bleach.
Don't go to church.
Yeah, for the love of God, really, don't go to church.
Like for real. Like
The old people there
Skype
don't
it
need
in.
your terms.
we
Yeah.
have
Don't go to church. Don't go to GameStop, and don't go to Hobby Lobby. There, I think we've covered it.
And watch
And
your
don't
hands.
go to AT&T.
Stay the fuck away from my house.
Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.